اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. اللهم صل.
Following the introduction of some prominent figures in the Tijaniya, just here I would like to present a thorough details and biographies to the contribution of the most eminent and most significant Tijani figures in Sudan throughout the long historical existence of the Tijaniya teachings in the Sudan. So since the earliest and throughout the longest history of the Tijaniya, by the way, so many eminent scholars have been emerged. Out of those scholars is the notable and the most famous scholar, the spiritual guide and the perfect wali, Muhammad Dulib. So just here I would like to present part of his contribution to the Sudanese society based on his affiliation to Tijaniya Sufi order. Muhammad Dulib was born in Khorsi, a town in northern Kordofan, east of Bara, Sudan, on Friday, 1802, 27 of Ramadan, 1882, at the birth of the notable perfect guide, the scholar Muhammad Dulib. He is the only child of a Sayyid Kulthum bint Boba. He descended from a generous family. From Bideri Dahmashia, his father, Sheikh Idris bin Sheikh Muhammad al-Ahmar, famous with Dulib, and he is the grandson of Dulib al-Akbar, whose grave is at Ad-Dabba in northern Sudan. His lineage ends with Sheikh Ghulam Allah Aid al-Rikabi, associated with our master Hussein ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. May Allah sanctify his face, from his honorable wife Sayyidah Fatima al-Zahra. May Allah be pleased with her. Through their son Al-Hussein ibn Ali radiyallahu anhu. Growing up, Khalifa Muhammad Dulib was raised by a devout and pious father. In Khorsi, at his father's khalwa, he started his religious education by the memorization of the Holy Quran at a young age. Sheikh Muhammad al-Barnawi, the Ashar al-Kula, was his first teacher, under whom he had received his religious and legal sciences. As a child, Dulib demonstrated excellence, strong determination, and resolve, and having the striving for the soul to acquire knowledge over the course of 10 continuous years. 10 continuous years with his teacher Al-Barnawi. After 10 years, he received a scientific license, or ijaza, from Sheikh Al-Barnawi, who had a connection back to his shuyukh at Al-Azhar Sharif. However, following his memorization to the Holy Quran at the young age, at his father Khalwa in Khorsi, followed with having and receiving his educational teaching under the scholar Sheikh Muhammad al-Barnawi, with whom Dulib has spent 10 years, continuous 10 years, through which he has received and completed his education, his religious education under him. Then he followed the Sufi path, and in his Sufi path he had been initiated under the Sheikh Maulud Fal al-Yaqubi. So Sheikh Maulud Fal al-Yaqubi had initiated with Dulib in the Tijaniyah. On the authority of Sheikh Mahmoud al-Ghali, on the authority of Sheikh Ahmad al-Tijani, may Allah be blessed with him, the founder of the Tariqah. Following his receipt to an ijaza in the Islamic teachings, Dulib started to teach and dedicated himself to teaching Islamic sciences, in addition to the dissemination of knowledge. However, his scientific culmination, seeking and pursuing the dissemination of knowledge, had been started or have been reached its peak when he established the Horsey Scientific Institute in 1842, starting the work on his own in a responsive and novel way. The institute was built on a three-stage educational system that required students to memorize and recite the entire Quran. After completing the required 12-year educational journey, each stage will have its own curriculum and books, followed by an exam at the conclusion of each stage. So what I would like to say here is that Dulib, following his ijaza in the legal and religious teachings from his Sheikh Muhammad al-Barnawi, by the way, he established his own Horsey Scientific Institute. And Horsey Scientific Institute had been established in the year 1842. So a very ancient institute, and this is just indicate that Sufis have given more concern to knowledge and to the dissemination of the authentic teachings of the Islamic religion. So Horsey Scientific Institute was established in the year 1842, and from that time on provided the Sudanese societies with great and prominent scholars. And about the educational system inside the institute, here it has been said the institute was built on a three-stage educational system that requires students to memorize and recite the entire Quran. After completing the required 12-year educational journey, each stage will have its own curriculum and books, followed by an exam at the conclusion of each stage. The pupil at the end of their learning at the institute, they be granted a certificate. For more information in this particular area, I would like to referring you to the memories of Sheikh Ahmed Al-Amin, Horsey Al-Quran Al-Ilm Al-Tasawwuf. Horsey the Quran, Knowledge and Tasawwuf. It has been collected by the engineer Zainab Ahmed Al-Amin in 2022. So the information that I'm providing now is based on this important material, which in fact is a story life reflecting the great contributions that have been played by Sheikh Muhammad Dulib, in addition to his offsprings and Khalifa that have come to assume the Caliphate of the Tijaniyah in Horsey Zawiya. So as we have started shortly, that Dulib himself used to teach. So he used to teach all the religious sciences, both transmitted and intellectual types of knowledge. That is ranging on varying from fiqh, that is jurisprudence, exegesis, tafsir, monotheism, tawheed, prophetic tradition, hadith, grammar, rhetoric, logic, astronomy, and some other disciplines of knowledge. So from this point, I would like to stress upon the idea that what Dulib Institute, Scientific Institute, has played a magnificent role providing the Sudanese society through different times with great prominent scholars. And as we have stated here, what Dulib himself personally used to teach. That means he is the teacher from a side and a spiritual guide from another side. And as we have stated here also, that different types of subject used to be taught in the institute, ranging from pure religious subject to some other subject related to other discipline of learning. Among what Dulib's numerous students were the following prominent and exceptional students: Sheikh Al-Sanusi Jali, under whom Sheikh Gharibullah Abu Saleh, the notable Sammani Sheikh, had received the science. The school of Dabaru, under whom Sheikh Abdul Rahim Al-Bashir, former Imam of the Grand Mosque in Al-Ubaid, has got his sanad. Sheikh Muhammad Al-Dazaki, under whom Sheikh Al-Islam Muhammad Al-Badawi has studied and followed the Tijani Sufi Tariq. The scholar Al-Aqib, who is famous with An-Nawawi, from whom Professor Hassan Muhammad Al-Fatih Gharibullah has scientific sanad. The scholar and the spiritual guide Umar Muhammad Al-Safi, known as Umar, the man of Al-Qreda, under whom Sheikh Muhammad Waqi Allah, the father of Sheikh Abdul Rahim Al-Bur'i, received sanad. Sharif Hussain has established. Sharif Hussain, by the way, also one of the prominent students and studied under Dulib. So he established his own Zawiya of the Tijaniya in Abu Zabad and made it a center to teach legal sciences, while his grandchildren are still in charge of running the affairs of the Zawiya. Another student of Dulib that he received education and learning under him, Sheikh Muhammad Al-Dajrif. And Sheikh Muhammad Al-Dajrif has worked teaching and spreading science in Jirif, part of Khartoum suburb. Sheikh Muhammad Al-Dusugi ibn Khalifa Al-Dulib, another student of Sheikh Al-Dulib him personally. So under him, Imam Al-Mahdi received the lessons in exegesis or tafsir, the Quranic tafsir. Another student of Dulib is Sheikh Abdul Rahman ibn al-Khalifa Dulib, under whom Muhammad Amin al-Qurashi, Muhammad al-Amin al-Qurashi, a very important, significant Sudanese preacher working preaching and da'wah in Nuba Mountains. So under Sheikh Abdul Rahman ibn al-Khalifa al-Dulib, Sheikh Muhammad al-Amin al-Qurashi had also received his part of his education and studies. However, this is just parts of the Sudanese who have been received education and have been granted ijaza either through Sheikh Muhammad Dulib directly or through his predecessors and Khalifa of Khorsi Scientific Institute. Having the scientific impact and the intellectual contributions of Al-Khalifa Muhammad Al-Dulib, here just I would like to state some points regarding his contributions and his intellectual impact. among the Sudanese. He considered the pioneer of the formal education in Sudan by establishing the first institute for legal sciences following Al-Azhar al-Sharif system as a model. Training and rehabilitation of graduates of his brilliant students to teach with him at the institute and instilled in them the spirit of impartiality and sincerity in spreading science and the choice of the teaching profession and the distance from positions, and the fruit of that appeared when the Omdurman Scientific Institute was established. It was built on the shoulders of the graduate of Dulib Institute, including Ustaz and Sheikh Al-Aqib al-Nahawi. The impact of Dulib, the scientific and intellectual impact of Dulib also could be found there in establishing a center for legal fatwas in Khorsi beside the institute. And the fatwas used to be sent to him from scholars and ordinary people. And he used to reply in writing with sealing on them. Another contribution of Dulib, intellectual impact of him, his contribution to the authorship of the famous book Fatwas of Ben Ulaysh with the Egyptian and the Azhar scholar Sheikh Ulaysh. Further impact of Dulib is his establishing a scientific library full of all types of legal sciences, open to students and scholars. He was bringing books from Egypt and some other parts of the Islamic world. Another impact, intellectual impact of Dulib, the forerunner of the Sufi school. So he is considered a forerunner, a pioneer of the Sufi school, which is founded on the teachings of the Tijani disciples with knowledge prior to remembrance and litanies. So its fruit in the growth of religious consciousness among the Tijani orders, adherents, and their distancing from everything that harms Sufism with corrupt practices and beliefs. However, Khalifa Dulib, after a life full with great accomplishment and success, has passed away at the age of 80 and that was in the year 1883. So for more information, I'm referring you to the memories of Sheikh Ahmad Al-Amin, Khorsi, the Quran.